Hey, Ryan here. I want to talk about the epoxy floor estimates I've been going to and the ridiculous warranties that I've been hearing from other companies that homeowners and commercial clients are telling me that they're receiving or being told that that's the warranty. So listen, here's a tip. The major things that can happen with an epoxy floor are expansion of your concrete, which could potentially crack the coating. There's nothing going to stop a huge expansion of a concrete. It's going to crack a coating. It's not going to be covered. If you look through your warranty, expansion of concrete, there's nothing that can control that. It's most likely not going to be covered in your warranty. The second thing is moisture. Moisture is bad for everything. Moisture is bad for this wall. It's bad for the ceiling. It's bad for any, outside you'll see your trim. If you have something sitting on the ground, piece of wood, it's going to rot. Same thing with an epoxy floor. If you have too much water pressure pushing up under the floor, it could potentially cause a failure of the concrete coating, which means there's too much moisture in the floor. What's going to happen is the epoxy company or the manufacturer is going to come out and they're going to test the back of the epoxy that came off, and they're going to test your concrete floor for moisture. Invariably, they're going to find that you have a moisture issue. Guess what? That's not covered either. So what is covered? Usually it's going to be covered of delamination from improper prep or issues with hot tire pickup, which you should not have with a professional coating. Remember, guys, that when you have an epoxy floor done, not everybody can use professional epoxy products. The systems that are in the big box stores, even though they're from Rust-Oleum, really good companies, it's a thinner coating. So we measure epoxy in mils. So you're looking at, in the big box stores, a very thin milled product. That's when we go out and look at them, I can tell right away where they got the epoxy from. A homeowner might have done it. A contractor will definitely use those products. So you have to be careful who's using what. Where the tires pull in, you're going to have delamination of the epoxy. You're going to have black tire marks. You might have burn marks where each tire sits because you're driving around all day. Those tires get hot. They plop down on the epoxy and actually burn through it because you have a thin coating on. Or you didn't prepare the floor correctly. So when I hear 10-year, 15-year, I've heard a lifetime warranty. So I just heard, I was meeting a customer, and they were probably in their 70s, and somebody offered them a 30-year warranty on their epoxy floor. Well, I don't know how many people live to 100, so the epoxy floor company's not dumb. They know that they're not getting a call back in 30 years on an epoxy floor. The warranty's not going to be transferable. So yes, we can promise anything. I could promise you 50, 100, lifetime. It's going to be the lifetime of the coating, by the way, not your lifetime. It comes down to what actually happened, who's responsible for it. If it's something that wasn't prepared correctly, that is the epoxy floor company's issue. That's going to, again, be easy to find. They're going to the back of the epoxy. Usually when I go out to a failure from another company, you can see that the epoxy wasn't properly prepared. Then good luck getting them come back out. Also, they're only going to repair the issue in question. So you're going to have a spot touched up on the floor. They're not going to do the whole floor again. We wouldn't do the whole floor again if we had an issue or a failure. You're going to have spot corrective action. So for any floor that we do, for any floor that any company does, they're not going to come back in and do your whole floor over just because you have a failure in one or two spots. They're going to fix those spots. So be very leery of these long warranty issues. They're sales pitches, strictly sales pitches. You have a few companies out there who are nationwide chains who are really good at selling. Think about the people that call you on the phone they're selling windows. You know, you have a storm, and then automatically you have roofing companies coming out to your neighborhood, just knocking door to door to door. They're good salespeople. That's what they do. So think local, hire somebody local in your area who has a proven track record, and they're going to use professional epoxy coatings. Professional epoxy coatings are not going to be sitting behind the counter and available to a homeowner at the big paint manufacturers. It's not going to be there. They're usually in the commercial store. Typically, they will not sell them to you. The issue being you only have a certain amount of time to work with them. It's hard for us to work with them. On our clear coats, we have about 12 minutes to put them down. A homeowner is not going to be prepared to do that. So again, but this is about warranties. We want to be careful with that. You know, when you go to buy a car, watch the sales pitches. Same thing when you're going to put an epoxy floor down. Hey, it is an investment. You know, it's not going to be inexpensive. An epoxy floor should be starting at, you know, $2,700, $3,500. We've done epoxy floors for residential properties that go up to $10,000, $12,000. It depends on how intricate, how one of a kind you want it, and how much patching that has to be done. So that's my tip. Be careful out there. I'm hearing a lot of crazy things. Go with somebody you can trust. Again, the chains that I'm hearing about are really, really pushing for you to sign that agreement on the spot. For us, low pressure, we want to give you great value. Working with us, you're going to get just a staff who really cares. That's me. If you want to ask me, why are we different? It's a staff that really cares.